And just like that, he lost his life 2 days before he was supposed to go home after doing over 10 years, surviving God knows what while behind those walls, only to lose his life 2 days before he was going home. Right as he was about to just get called for a visit, and he wouldn't have been in that situation. We wanted to know why our friend was assaulted and eventually lost his life. We just wanted to know the reason. So we've been getting to do homework. The institution was on lockdown. They started to pull guys out the different pods. They actually got a guard as well off the compound, and stories started to come out. And the story that started to come out was that Brother Anthony had ran up a slight debt. And to pay off his debt, he had agreed to give Big his TV. In the meanwhile, before Brother Anthony could get packed up one last time to go home and give Big his TV, his cousin came up. Brother Anthony's cousin came up from the institution, didn't have anything. And Brother Anthony made the decision that because it was his family, he would give him his TV and a couple other articles of property. Well, aside from that, Brother Anthony's game plan was that he was going to duck Big until he was home. Then he'd never see him again. That was the plan. But it didn't work out like that. He made the fatal mistake of going to the yard that day instead of making himself small so he could get home. He made the mistake, I have to believe, of not understanding that everybody doesn't have a release date when we was up there. A lot of people had life sentences and weren't necessarily happy because you were walking out the gate. I don't know if that was the reason or what may have increased the level of what occurred. But man, he should have played it safer. Instead of him paying his debt, like I said, he gave the cousin his TV. Thought he was going to duck Big. Brother Anthony went out to the yard. He just, again, wanted to say what's up to us. And when he was on the yard, one last time, that's when it went down. A crooked guard let Big and his people onto that yard, and they did what they did. They assaulted him first, and, after that, it escalated, and Brother Anthony's no longer here. It reminded me going through that situation that I better understand and never forget that I can't get comfortable. I'm not home until I'm home. Don't let your guard down. Don't let people know when you're going home. Like, there's just certain things. Don't run up the debt. That's why I be telling a lot of people in the chat, like, it was an overall, it wasn't a moment of clarity, but it was a moment where it was, I guess, the serious switch got all the way hit. It's like you go from watching the news and hearing about somebody going through something, because you would hear about other violent acts being occurred on the penitentiary, but you never knew who it was. But when it happens to somebody, it changes your perspective forever. It puts you on guard. That's why a lot of us are in fight and flight. We're stuck in that pattern. It took me a year, two, man, I don't know, whatever, to decompress and get out of that. The next thing I remember after Brother Anthony's passing, ironically enough, and I think it's important to illustrate in this part of the story, is once we had came off lock, we're in the dorm, we're chilling, it's store day, and here goes another situation. Brother had owed the store box man, $80 or whatever. And if y'all don't know what the store box is, it's basically, I got a bunch of commissary. If you don't, you can come to me. You can get 2 items and give 3 back. There's a tax involved, but you can get it from me. But on store box, I need that and the tax. And some individuals, they fall victim to these store boxes, and they're caught in this vicious cycle where every time they get commissary, they got to give up the whole bag. So of course they go back and store box again. This young brother had a bad habit of store boxing, gambling, etc. Now, he paid the store box man all of the debt, $80 except for one item. It was a 34-cent Moonlog bag of shebang chips. I'll never forget it. Youngins playing poker, and the old head who owned the store box came up to him. He said, "Hey man, you got everything straight, but you're missing one bag of chips. Can you just get it for me when they crack the sales open, and then we could square everything away?" He said, "I got you, OG." He said, "I gave you everything else though, right?" OG was like, "Yeah, but I still need my 34-cent bag of chip though, because you said you would give me that, and it's been an agreement." So Dude was like, all right, I got you. Cell doors opened up. He don't go get the bag of chips. He's locked into the poker game. He's chasing that money or whatever. Old head walks up and he say, hey man, you mind if you miss that cell break? You can just stop next cell break, grab that for me because I'm getting ready to go on the cell and just chill on out for the rest of the day. Youngin said, dang man, you don't see me, you don't see me playing cards right now. I got you, OG. It's just a 34-cent bag of chips. I just gave you 80 some dollars. OG said, it's not the money, it's the principle. We're supposed to have an agreement. You know how this goes. Youngin said, all right, man, I got you, man. You tripping. OG said, all right. Another door break came. COs cracked the cells. Youngin did not move from that poker table. He was either down. I don't know what was going on. The whole time I'm watching the old head because we jive talked a little bit. But I also knew to stay the heck out of his way because he had been down 24, 25 years already, had a little name for himself. The young man underestimated who he was dealing with because of his age, stature, etc. That store box brother, that older brother, man, he took his time. He walked across the pod slow. He walked up to the young brother that was playing poker. And this time there was no words to be said. He had got fed up and he took a piece of, metal and went to his neck. This is prison. That occurred over 34 cents. Literally. A Moon Lodge bag of shebang chips. Brother Anthony lost his life over a 5-inch Magnavox, a TV. It's that real in prison. It's literally that real. I continue to, rock it out, endure. I made some brothers along the way up there, but all in all, it was a miserable experience. That first rodeo, that first prison I was at, it was a lot of death, a lot of people getting hurt, backbiting, gossiping, tension in the air. You never knew what was going on. It was just a lot. That was it. And I was glad when the counselor finally was like, yo, I got you. Your transfer is up. You're approved. You can go to a level 3. And man, just to know that I could leave there and go to a level 3, did I mention the counselor said I might be able to go to level 2? I was golden. I was ready. I needed to get off there. I needed a new start. I needed to get away from death. I needed to get away from all that has occurred up here. I've seen enough this first go round. Let me get up off here and try somewhere new. And on a lower level, I felt like if I survived on a level 4, I could definitely survive on a level 2 or level 3. That ain't nothing. Boy, was I sort of wrong.